ship's moving up here. Great to be here. Great to see you all. Although I can't because you're in the dark. Really good. I'm going to squeeze as much as I can into the hour I've got. This is that was from the Six Wives of Henry VIII. That was Jane Seymour, so 8 of you knew it then. That's all right. And then I'm going to do another couple of the Six Wives in a second, metaphorically speaking, of course. It is good to be here. I've had a few health issues over the last couple of years, and just funny enough, before I came away, I had to go and have a medical. And the first thing he said to me, it's quite serious, he said, "Rick, you have got to lose a lot of weight." So I had my hair cut, I had all that, and that got rid of about 20 pounds, which is quite good going, really. Anyway, enough of the chat. I'll do another couple of the wives. This is Catherine of Aragon and Catherine Howard, and I do hope you have a nice night. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's very kind. Thank you. That's three of the wives out of the way. I have a great affinity with Henry. He had 6. I've had 4. He had a better way of divorce than I had. His was chopping their heads off. Mine was donating houses, but anyway, that's by the way. Moving on, I always, whenever I come out and do solo things, I always like to do a yes piece. I don't know why, they never do any of mine. But I've chosen 2 that I'm very fond of because they're great melodies to play as instrumentals. One is And You and I, and the other one, I think the other one is we had a hit in 1978 before any of you were born, which was called Wondrous Stories. And there's a little quick story that goes with Wondrous Stories. It started climbing up the charts. It got up to number 7 and was still climbing. And the BBC in England said, you're in the top 10 now, you've got to go on top of the pops. So we went on top of the pops, and all the people saw what we looked like, and it disappeared the next week. So that's the singles market. Anyway, this is And You and I and Wondrous Stories.
very much.
Moving swiftly on, the third album I did was called Mr. Legends of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, and I have to thank the American label A&M. I was actually signed to the American part, not the English part, which is just as well because the English company hated it. They didn't like it at all. They hated the Six Wives. They hated Journey. They liked it when it sold 10 million copies, but they didn't like it before. And then they didn't like. They said, "What are you doing next?" I said, "King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table." They went, "Oh, bloody hell, are you?" And I went, "Yeah." And they went, "Oh, I don't really fancy releasing that." And Jerry Moss in America said, "Yeah, release it. I like the idea." So it was great fun. We did. None of you remember, but I did 3 shows on ice with King Arthur. As you see, it's not on ice here tonight. I'd love to do it on ice again. Anyway, that's by the way. There was one thing about it. There was 129 skaters that took part in this thing, and there was one bit where I did the last battle where there was 25 skaters on one side, 25 the others dressed as knights on hobby horses with their swords and that, and they go around and during the last battle they'd have a fight, and then at the end of the fight, there's all the dry ice. They'd draw each other with the swords and they'd all disappear into the dry ice dead, and that was good fun. And on the last night, Tony Burfield from A&M Records came to me and said, "We've got a big problem." I said, "What's that?" He said, "One of the skaters is sick." I said, "It doesn't matter, there's 129 of them, one won't make any difference." He said, "Well," I said, "No, it'll be fine." But it was only when we came to the last battle that I realised it was a difference, because one of the skaters that was ill was one of the knights in the fight in the last battle. So that meant that there was 24 on one side and 25 on the other. So we're playing away, they skated around, had a bit of a fight with the old wooden swords, and then paired up and drew each other with the swords and disappeared into the dry ice, except for the one guy who was left on his own, who was skating around looking for somebody to kill, somebody to kill him. And we're playing away, there's a big orchestra, choir, and they're all looking at each other, and the audience are going, "How's he going to get out of this one?" And the truth of the matter is, I didn't. I thought, well, I'm going to have to stop. But then the guy on his own did a marvellous thing. He committed suicide. Disappeared into the ice. The audience loved it. I wish I knew who he was, because I owe him a lot, at least a drink. Anyway, I wanted to do King Arthur somewhere, so I can't do it all because it was. As I say, there's a big choir and orchestra and a band and heaven knows what else. But I managed to stick 4 pieces together, which is the King Arthur, the theme, the song, Guinevere, the last battle without the skaters, and Merlin the magician. I mean, it's quite long. It's about 4.5 hours. So I hope you've had a wee. More importantly, I hope I have. This is King Arthur. Thank you very much. That's very kind. Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. I'm going to finish off with a couple of pieces I didn't write, and at the end of them, what people do, and I don't do it anymore, is I wander off as if I'm never going to come back and for the bullshit encore. And I do think that encores are total bullshit, because you know I'm only going to be standing back there somewhere going, I wonder if they're going to clap long enough for me to come out, and you're going, I bet he's having a piss, and I'm not. So what I'm going to do at the end of these two pieces, I'm going to stay sat back there, and you've got to imagine I've gone. And you can clap and whoop and holler and do whatever you like, and then I will suddenly stand up as if, what a shock, I've come back on again. It saves a lot of energy and a lot of bullshit. So there you go. So the two pieces I'm going to play to finish off with, the Beatles wrote them, and one was written by John Lennon, which was Help, which I do in the style of the French composer Saint-Saëns, and you think I'm joking. And then I'm going to do Eleanor Rigby, which Paul McCartney wrote in the style of the Russian composer Sergei Prokofiev. And we have locked the doors, you're going to have to stand and listen to it. No choice. I was very lucky, I mean, I'm old enough, I met all of the Beatles, and they were great. Memories of all of them. I had lunch with John Lennon 2 days before he was murdered in New York, which was a fantastic couple of hours. I spent a whole day on the beach in Cannes with George Harrison. We weren't holding hands or anything like that. We were discussing music. What a clever guy, what a lovely guy he was. Ringo, I used to use his studio a lot until he set his dogs on me once by accident, and I went, bugger, I ain't going back there again. But he's lovely if you want to talk about Thomas the Tank Engine, it's great. And then Paul McCartney, I only met once. Way back in the early 70s, we were at a big function together, and he came over to me, and I was really and he uttered the immortal words which I've never forgotten. He said, "You're much taller than I thought you'd be." And that was it, really. That was when we had a conversation. So when people say to me, "Have you ever met Paul McCartney?" I go, "Yeah, he's shorter than me." Anyway, listen, thanks so much for coming. Enjoy the rest of the cruise. Have a fantastic time. There's some wonderful bands and musicians on, and I have to give a plug to my son Adam, who's here at 8:30 with Sabbath. It's not the first time that Adam and I have been on a boat together, because we used to live on the Isle of Man. So we've been on the Isle of Man ferry a few times, which actually is a very similar experience. Anyway, thanks ever so much. This is Help and Eleanor Rigby, and then, as you know, I'm going off, but my word, what a surprise that was. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. It's very kind. I'm gonna... yeah, I've got time for it. This is a piece that I did. I was very honoured to play on it and help arrange it with him. All the sessions that I did, my favourite guy to work with was the late great David Bowie, who was absolutely amazing. And I'm going to do a piece that I was really honoured to be a part of with him. A little story that goes with it. If anybody's got the vinyl of Hunky Dory, on Life on Mars, if you listen carefully at the end of it, there's like, you hear the piece again in the distance and a phone ringing. Anybody heard it? Well, you two have then, okay, well there you go. Well, it happened because tape is very expensive, or was back then. And so if you did a take and you weren't going to keep it, you went over it. And that's what happened with Life on Mars. We did a take, David and Ken Scott weren't happy, so we did it again. But on the one before that we didn't keep, at the end of it, a phone in one of the rooms next door rang. And David said, it doesn't matter because we're not going to keep that anyway. So we redid it again, and when they came to mix it, when it came to the end of the piece, the version that we were going to keep, they let the tape carry on running, and then in came, you could hear the piano doing the piano part of Life on Mars again, and then a phone ringing. And Ken Scott said, oh, don't worry, I'll get rid of that. And David said, no, leave it in. He said, it'll be interesting to see how many people notice it. Obviously not very many. So thank you once again for coming, and have a wonderful cruise. This is Life on Mars.